What is up, everybody? My name is Justin French, covering music for those who care, and right now I'm taking a look at the 5th studio album from Asking Alexandria entitled, well, Asking Alexandria. So anyways, this is the band's first notable release since Danny Worsnop entered the band again, and this is also their first album being produced by Matt Good of From First to Last. In case you don't know, he's a producer, and the co-lead vocalist and lead guitarist of the band From First to Last, which features Skrillex in that band. The more you know. But anyways, this is also released on Samaritan Records, which has been their home since their first album, Stand Up and Scream, I believe is what it's called. And looking back at their career, I was never a big fan of when it came to their first 2 records, Stand Up and Scream and Reckless and Relentless, because I felt like the music was very monotonous and the lyrical themes were just very, very immature. And I did see a bit of maturity as the band has grown, as they've evolved, with albums such as, From Death to Destiny and The Black, which featured Dennis Snoff instead of Worsnop after Worsnop quit the band. And I do feel that the lyrical themes were very strong on that record, but some of the instrumentals were a bit weak on that record. But overall, it's a solid release. Now, going into this thing, I was very anxious to see what kind of direction this band would lead in, because Worsnop put out a country record, outlaw country record, earlier in the year, and it was actually pretty enjoyable, not gonna lie. Now, with this release, I feel like this album goes for more synth rocky kind of vibes on some of the songs. But anyways, let's get back into some of the singles. So the first single that we got from this record was Into the Fire, and I feel like it has that nice balance of the synth rock vibe along with the post-hardcore sound that the band is known for. And you can tell that post-hardcore sound, especially whenever it gets to that bridge, whenever Worsnop just unleashes his fiery screams on that song. And I found that track to be very enjoyable. I found the lyrics to be very strong on that record, or on that song, my bad. And anyways, it was a really fun track to listen to. And then we had another track by the title of Where Did It Go?, which is more of a reflection of the band over the past, I say, 10 years since their first release. And you can definitely tell that whenever he's rapping on, there's rap on this record. I know you're probably not going to believe that, but yeah, they kind of reflect on the second verse. The first album, the gold one, where they were pretty much stealing any band that they were on summer tours with. The second one was whenever they were talking about knocking the pop stars off the charts. And the third one was kind of like the dark era of the band, but the arenas were just screaming their songs. They were just singing along to the songs that the band is known for. And then The Black kind of mentions that Worsnop was not on that release, that he needed some space to breathe. And I feel like it's probably my favorite, if not one of my favorites, on this album. Now, there are some cuts that I didn't find very enjoyable. When the Lights Come On kind of comes off as a ripoff of Fall Out Boy's My Songs Know What You Did in the Dark, which I enjoyed back in the day, but I mean, I'm not a big fan of Fall Out Boy now, especially with that new release that they're coming out with. Yeah, expect a review on that sometime next year. And then Empire, which features rapper Banks, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but it starts off with him rapping, and it just doesn't feel like an Asking Alexandria song. And I guess the one thing I do have to compliment is Ben Bruce does a pretty good vocal job on that track, but other than that, it just feels very weird, very out of place. Now also, it does kind of bring some of that post-hardcore sound that the band is known for, and that comes in close to the end of the record. Now, we did see a little bit of that in Into the Fire, and then we have tracks such as Eve and I Am One, and Eve is by far probably the heaviest track on this release, especially with that kind of back to screaming approach for majority of the verses, and the heavy guitar riffs come into play, and I really enjoyed the drumming on that track too. And then I Am One kind of has more of the melodic side, but it does feature some of the screaming that Danny is known for. I also have to say that Vultures is a pretty nice ballad. It kind of features more of a acoustic guitar, but also kind of adds some of the synths in there. And I feel like musically, it's a very strong track. It's also one of my favorites on this thing. So anyways, With that in mind, overall, I really enjoyed this release. I had pretty much nothing to worry about. I really enjoyed the atmosphere that this album brings. It kind of brings back some of the synth rock vibes of, I don't want to say 80s, but I mean, it does a nice balance of synth rock and post-hardcore at the same time. And, oh, also, I really enjoyed the opening track, Alone in a Room. I feel like that really sets the mood for this album very well. And anyways, overall, I really enjoyed this record. Overall, I think my rating on this is probably going to be a strong 7.5 out of 10. So, anyways, thanks for watching. If you would like to subscribe to my channel, you can click right over there to catch up on more content or watch another video. If you want to see my previous review or video that I did, you can click right over there to see that. So anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and hope to see you soon.